In a previous video, we spoke about the role of a DPO in an organization. In this video, we are going to talk specifically about a DPO's role with respect to the regulatory authorities, and we'll touch base on the three key regulations or three key geographies where DPO is there, and how do they look at a DPO from regulatory point of view. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily get new content on data privacy. So let's look at the regulatory roles of a DPO. The first thing is being a contact point for the regulators. He is the one who is responsible for talking to the regulators, for communicating with the regulators. He has to provide them with clear, timely and legally valid communication with respect to privacy. Regulators will keep putting queries, they'll keep sending notices, ask for information. It's his job to get it documented. It's his job to get it taken out from the various departments, and it's his job to answer them back in a timely fashion, work on whatever investigations and inspections or audits that the regulators want to do for his organization, and he is the one who is going to face the organization in legal matters. He may not be the direct counsel, because many a times the court would say that since your DPO is internal, then he would not be the appropriate one for being a direct counsel for your organization. But still, to communicate with the counsel and to represent the organization in the matter is something which is a key role of the DPO with respect to the regulators. Then the second thing is about notifications. Whenever there is an incident, someone has to analyze what is the impact of the incident, qualify whether you would actually call it a breach or not, and once you qualify it as a breach, then it is first most important thing is to go back to the regulator and tell them about the breach, the nature of the breach, the impact to the data subjects, and accordingly actually answer to data subjects or inform data subjects as well. But at least back to the regulator, you have to inform him about the breach, the nature of the breach, the impact to the data subject, as well as the mitigation steps that you have taken, so that the regulators are aware of it and they can update themselves both from regulations point of view as well as a knowledge based point of view as to this kind of a breach can also happen. And they have to ensure that the annual filings with respect to data privacy are done in a timely fashion, complete and accurate. And they have to inform regulators if there is any risk that has been identified performing DPIA within the organization. The data protection impact assessment, which is performed in an organization when you have a highly sensitive data to be processed or a very large volume of data to be processed. And of course, there are around 10 different criteria under which DPIA is performed, but this is one of those. And in that case, he has to inform the regulators if he finds out that there is any risk identified during the DPI. Of course, when you inform about the risk, you also inform about the mitigation steps taken, so that the regulators are again aware that that could be a risk while your organization is processing some data, or by when does it actually get mitigated as well. From audits point of view, he should he should help regulators with the audits. They would initiate the audit. It's his job to provide them with basic query answers, with proper documents, demonstrate compliances, and work with various departments to complete the documentation as far as the audit is concerned. Most of the organizations at a scale do get into audits done from finance point of view, all of them, but even from IT point of view, depending on the kind of IT compliances they are following. This is another one, which is the privacy compliance that organizations processing volumes of personal or sensitive personal information need to answer. And when it comes to what is personal information, or PII, or also known as personally identifiable information, it's an information that can help you identify a particular individual, a particular living person with from a unique information about him, either with a single piece or with combining more than one pieces of information. For example, his address may not be unique, his name may not be unique, but his address linked with his name would make him unique and identifiable. And it's a very basic example. PIIs go up to biometrics, etc. And I have a video on PIIs on my channel, so you can refer to that if you want to. Apart from the regulatory audits, you need to perform, your DPO needs to perform internal audits regularly and review and resolve any risk that he sees with respect to the data processing processes, the security controls around data processing, and data sharing processes, right? and if these are taken care of with regular internal audits, then the chances of failing them in the external audits or regulatory based audits are very less. Then we move on to the inquiries and complaints. Your respect data subject complaints, you need to have a proper register with you as to what complaint have you received and how have you handled it. Investigate it, address the complaint, provide detailed records to address the complaint, and if there are any penalties, then it's DPO who has to manage those penalties, negotiate penalties and any compensations. Can you close it on compensations, or does it really need to get into the penalty mode? And then of course you have to demonstrate that your compliances are met and all possible good effort is made to meet the compliance requirements, and update back to the regulators on the actions taken to mitigate the complaint or the penalties paid, etc. Last and not the least, there are specific rules that a DPO has with respect to regulators dependent on the jurisdiction you are following in. For example, if you are a European, you follow GDPR, which says that the DPO is supposed to report to the highest management and it should work independently. Because if it's working in sync, I mean not exactly in sync, but if it's working as a part of the team only, then there would be less transparency and he might get biased. So his working should be independent of the other teams in the organization. It's an important post. You can take it casually initially, but if there's a breach, then you can get into bigger problems. CCPA, California law says that DPO should help an organization to regulate or to respect the consumer data rights, report all the possible breaches, and he should adhere to opt out and right to delete. He should adhere to opt out and to the right to delete. And finally, Indian DPDP Act 2023. Detailed rules are yet to come in, but they have already defined that the DPO is the one who is responsible for regulatory filing and compliance report filing on an annual basis. Right? So that's the key role of a DPO when it comes to the Indian law. That's what I have about regulatory role of a DPO. In the coming videos, we are going to talk about the basic action that you or basic task that you expect a DPO to perform with respect to the size or spread of your business. So stay tuned with my channel, subscribe to my channel, share your feedback in the comment section, and if you like this video, press the like and bell icon. Thank you.